What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any videos, and make sure you hit the like button because that really does go a long way in helping out the channel. So today we're going to be talking about Virgin Galactic Stock, SPCE. I do not have a position in Virgin Galactic, but I do plan on opening one next week. None of this is financial advice. This is just me sharing my research and ideas with you guys. It's super important to make sure that you do your own research and come to your own conclusion. So there's been a lot of buzz around space this year. Most recently, Elon Musk and SpaceX, alongside with NASA, launched astronauts from US soil into outer space, which really increased the conversation. So Virgin Galactic IPO'd on October 25th, 2019 at $10 per share. Their business focuses on space tourism and hypersonic travel. Virgin Galactic was really interesting to me because what they offer could actually be one of the most unique, if not the most unique experiences in the world. Richard Branson, he's known for doing a lot of cool things with the Virgin brand, which he founded in the 1970s, and now they own over 400 companies. So we're gonna start with the stock and then I'll kind of build my way out here. The stock is currently trading at $15.85, down about 0.5% for the day and still up about 47% for the year. Now, a lot of people have already 5x their money in this stock when it hit its all-time highs of $42.49, and that's really important to consider because this stock hasn't even been publicly traded for up to a year yet. Now at this time, Virgin Galactic stock is still pretty much pure speculation. The business is still in its infancy stages. So now I'm going to explain what I think are the pros and cons for me when it comes to investing in Virgin Galactic right now. When you take a look at their gross margins, they're actually pretty great. If this business can grow and eventually benefit from economies of scale, that means that they will have a 70% gross margin, which is pretty tough to do when it comes to a business that's physical these days. The cost for one trip to space is $250,000. Virgin Galactic is currently defining the market for this type of service. They are the only player in space tourism right now. The biggest risk to me of being in a business like this is the extremely high cost. For most people, this is probably going to be a long-term play. The company is burning through cash every quarter, and profitability isn't going to happen overnight in a business like this. My guess is that you're looking at 10 to 15 years down the line. The company has a market cap that's just over $3 billion when they're losing cash. And for me, the only way for this market cap to make sense is if they are able to hit their trajectories and be on the path to profitability and show proof of concept. Richard Branson says that the company aims to send 1,500 people to outer space every year by 2023. If this happens, that means that roughly there'll be around $375 million in revenue in their earliest years. That's because every trip to outer space is $250,000. But also, that doesn't mean that they'll be making a profit. Like I said before, this business model is extremely costly. Just to get to the point where they are today, it took over $1 billion of capital and 17 years of time. NASA took 60 years to send roughly around 500 people to outer space with a cost of around roughly $600 billion. That's around $1 billion per person. When you think about Virgin Galactic, they're doing it at so much more of a fraction of a cost compared to what NASA has been able to do. And NASA took longer because they were the innovators in this space. So they had to do all the research and they had to form all the groundwork and figure things out for themselves. Now that the door has already been kicked down, this opens up another door for innovation, which I believe that Virgin Galactic has a chance of taking advantage of the huge opportunity that the market they are creating presents them. Chamath also said that it isn't unreasonable to expect that the cost of sending people to outer space continues to decline over time, getting those costs down from the $250,000 levels to around the tens of $1,000 levels. If cost declines, that's going to have a huge effect on their business. So the two biggest threats to this business model are the cost and the safety concerns. Right now, the business's total addressable market is very niche. It only appeals to rich people with liquid capital. The vast majority of people are not going to spend $250,000 going into outer space, even if they have it. A lot of those people that do have the $250,000 would rather probably invest it, whether that be real estate, stock markets, private businesses, anything like that, than letting go of it for a week of the Virgin Galactic experience, which would also include them being able to go into outer space. On the other side of that coin, the ultra wealthy might want to go into outer space at least one time in their lifetime. But you have to think about how big of a percentage is the ultra wealthy, and then you have to look at it again and say, how many of those people feel comfortable going into space in the first place? So for me personally, I'm going to enter the stock as a spec play. I don't plan on holding Virgin Galactic long term unless I start to see some proof of concept and things that might make me more bullish on the stock. I'm only going to put a small amount of money into Virgin Galactic, and if there's a pop again like what we saw earlier this year, then I'm going to take profit. But if there isn't a pop but more fundamentals start to form around the business, then I will reevaluate and consider holding it long term. At the current share price of $15.85, with the rest of the market being extremely overvalued, I don't think this is a bad spec play for myself right now. I mean, if you just look at the market, if you look at some common stocks, PE ratios are extremely high. The market, in my opinion, has definitely gotten ahead of itself. So it's important more now than ever to be able to analyze the market and be able to find things that you think are undervalued. So me putting a small percent of my capital to work in Virgin Galactic, I think will pay off. And if it doesn't, then it's only a small percent. In my opinion, at these prices, there's more upside than downside. And lastly, I'm gonna add that I'm someone who really likes to look at balance sheets. And with this company's balance sheet and all the strategic investors involved, I don't think that this company has a high risk of failure in the short term. The company currently has $480,443 cash. In total liabilities, the company currently has $137,986. So I don't see myself blowing a ton of money taking a huge loss in this stock right now, and I'm only going to be nibbling at it when I do buy in next week. I'm not going to invest the whole portion. I'm going to invest a very small amount, which is relative to me. Small is going to be relative to you, whatever that is, that whatever your risk tolerance is and whatever you decide that you can comfortably put in. And then if it dips some more, from that point I will invest more. If you look at annual revenues, they have remained pretty flat over a 3-year period, but that's expectable because they're working on stuff to get to the point where they're able to send people to outer space and start collecting $250,000 per flight. If you look at earnings, this is what I mean when I say the company is kind of in the red. I like to buy when there's blood in the streets. That's when I bought into Neo stock, and Neo stock has made me a lot of money so far. And that's also expected because what they're doing is they're setting up their business right now. And when I invest, I like to invest in people. I like to invest in good management teams, good CEOs, right? Richard Branson, now they control over 400 companies. And this is what really made me want to pull the trigger on Virgin Galactic. The fact that Chamath Palihapitiya is the chairman. He is one of the greatest modern investors. Not only is he the chairman of Virgin Galactic, but he's also the CEO of Social Capital. He's investing in something that could really disrupt the airline industries and open up a new market for the everyday person to be able to go to outer space eventually. So I'm going to be keeping up with this stock, and I'm going to give you guys detailed updates. That's what you want. I want to know what you guys think about Virgin Galactic stock. Please comment down below, like and subscribe. Those things really do help the channel out. Thanks for watching.